The publication of Andrew Tisch and Mary Skafidas' new book titled Journeys, An American Story, could not have come at a more poignant and powerful time. With the border crisis ongoing and tensions over immigration at a boiling point, the author's work features a collection of first-person reflections of the American immigration experience. From Cory Booker to Michael Bloomberg, Nancy Pelosi, and Andrew Cuomo, the book tells the story of national trailblazers who come from humble roots and whose families once sought refuge and opportunity here in our land. All profits from the book, I should note, will be donated to the New York Historical Society and the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation. And we're delighted to welcome Andrew Tisch, who's also the co-chairman of the investment firm Lowe's Corporation, and Mary Skafidas, the head of investor relations and corporate communications at that same company, to the program. It's nice to have you both here with us.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
This is a wonderful collection of stories, and they come at a wonderful time, as we said. I'm always curious as to how ideas for books and films come about. And Andrew, this was an event that you were invited to speak at in 2016. Tell me about it.
I had just joined the board of the New York Historical Society. And the New York Historical Society once a quarter loans out their auditorium to the Immigration and Naturalization Service for a swearing-in ceremony. So they asked me if I would offer greetings to a group of 100 new immigrants who were about to be sworn. And I said, sure, why not? Prepared my 3 minutes of remarks by talking about my family's immigration, and realized as I was sitting on the stage looking at the audience consisting of 100 new immigrants that virtually everybody, unless you're a Native American, is from somewhere else. And why not tell the stories?
And you broke it down in an interesting way, in themes, if you would.
Oh, my God. We went back and forth and back and forth.
Because I would think that, I mean, you could have just done a whole list of names, but,
right.
but
you could have done it alphabetically. You could have done it year of arrival.
How did you decide to do it and why?
We wanted to do it in a way that was interesting, right? Andrew kept saying, this is really family lore. This isn't a history book. People don't have to vet all of the details. It's as they were passed down generation to generation. And so we wanted to do it in a way that captured more of the storytelling. The family came here for love, or they were fleeing something, or they came here because they wanted a better future. We thought that actually made it more interesting. And a lot of people have really responded to the way the chapters have been divvied up.
Let me talk a little bit about the history of immigration, because I'm sure you looked into this as part of your stories. And we are obviously in the midst of turmoil right now, depending upon how you view the immigration question here. But it's not the first time we've experienced immigration turmoil. How does that sort of play into your thoughts about doing this?
Well, we last year celebrated the centennial year of the Immigration Act of 1918, which was also known as the Asiatic Bard Act, which in essence kept Asians from becoming citizens. Made it virtually impossible for Chinese women to come to the United States because, God forbid, they should marry the Chinese men that are building the railroad. They would stay here. So we've always been a bit xenophobic, whether it was the Chinese or the Irish, the Italians, the Jews, whomever. We have never been 100% welcoming at the start of any migration. But we liken our immigration to not a melting pot, but a mosaic. That we are stones of many different textures and sizes and colors and shapes. And the grout is the glue that keeps it together. The grout is the opportunity, the freedom, the right of expression that people have in this country. And without grout, a mosaic is just a pile of rocks. This country is made up of a lot of different people, a lot of different societies, a lot of different ethnic origins, and we need to celebrate that. And most of the time we do, but we do run cycles where we are more xenophobic than other times.
Mary, let me ask you this. Why do you think this is one of those cycles where we are in such turmoil about the notion of who should be invited to our shores?
I'm sure it has to do with the economy. I think it always has to do with the economy. We just came out of a very long recession. There are jobs, but in Middle America, there are not as many jobs as people would like. And so I think the new group, the group that's coming in to kind of shake up the established order, is always something that is feared. It's human nature. But the truth of the matter is, and Andrew speaks about this all the time, we're at virtually, 3% unemployment, right?
We're as good as we've been in a
Yeah.
long time. Last thought for you, and these are marvelous individual stories, and they're very revealing, they're very compelling, they're very inspirational. What's the message you want people to take away from this collection of individual stories? Mary?
Well, for me, being a first-generation American, not having spoken English until I was 6 years old, it's really the reminder that we all started from the same place. We or our family came here. We started at the bottom, and we had the opportunity here to work our way up.
Andrew, how about you? What's the message?
I would say Mary hit it right on the head. Opportunity. This is a country that has always been a place that the rest of the world has looked at as a land of opportunity. And as long as we can keep that going and keep the opportunities open for the rest of the world, we will always be ahead of everybody else. We are the only country in the world that really prides itself on 242 years of making ourselves available to the immigrant, to the person who is fleeing, to the person who is seeking, and ultimately making that person feel welcome, feel like there is an opportunity here.
Well, it's as I said, great collection of stories, inspirational and aspirational, I think, when you look at them. I'd love to see it in every grammar school in the country, have people take a look at this. Andrew, Mary, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You both be well.
Thank you.
Thank you.